Free socks.
You're listening to The Chris Carlisle Show, hosted by me, Chris Carlisle. Okay, coming up, look at what's coming up on television. Birthdays, I'll tell you about going to an Astros game, the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and the Central Texas High School football preview. new shows premiering on television. The first one is called It's Complicated. It premieres Thursday at 10, 9 Central on the Food Network. The next one is called The Bump. It premieres Thursday at 8, 7 Central. Another episode at 8:30, 7:30 Central on the CW. Another one is Children of the Underground. It premieres Friday, 8, 7 Central on FX. There's CMT Summer Camp, also premiering Friday at 9, 8 Central on CMT. And a new show in the Walking Dead franchise, Tales of the Walking Dead, premieres Sunday at 9, 8 Central on AMC. And also it's the season premiere of Power Book 3, Raising Cannon, Sunday at 9, 8 Central on Stars. And the season finale for the following shows, the season finale for So You Can Think You Can Dance, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on Fox. American Detective with Lieutenant Joe Kenda, also Wednesday at 10, 9 Central on Investigation Discovery. The season finale of Top Gear, Thursday at 10, 9 Central on BBC America. And The Great American Recipe, the season finale is Friday at 9, 8 Central on PBS. On Sunday is the season finale of Grantchester at 9, 8 Central on PBS. Also at 9, 8 Central, it's the season finale of Westworld that is, at 9, 8 Central on HBO. Coming up, we'll look at birthdays.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Okay, celebrities with birthdays are actor Antonio Banderas, actress Angie Harmon from Rizzoli and Isles, WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan, podcaster Joe Rogan, actor Chris Hemsworth, Thor, actor George Hamilton, and actor Danny Bonaduce, Danny from the Partridge Family. Coming up, I'll tell you about going to see the Astros last week. Alright, well, last Wednesday morning I got up and drove down to Houston to see a 1 o'clock game played by the Houston Astros. They played the Boston Red Sox and won by a score of 6-1. Jose Urquidy pitched 5 innings of no-hit ball and also struck out 10, while newly acquired first baseman outfielder DH Trey Mancini hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the second inning. Coming up, look who went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend. Okay, Tony Boselli became the first player from the Jacksonville Jaguars to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame when he was inducted Saturday. He was joined by former Green Bay Packers safety Leroy Butler, former New England Patriots defensive end Richard Seymour, former referee Art McNally, former head coach Dick Vermeil, notably with the Eagles, Rams, and Chiefs, and the late Oakland Los Angeles Raiders wide receiver Cliff Branch, and the late Carolina Panthers New Orleans Saints linebacker Sam Mills. Well, this season's issue of Texas Football is out now, And coming up with a look at what they say is in store for Rosebud Lot, Cameron Yo, Little River Academy, Rogers, Belton, Lake Belton, and Temple. By the way, if you're listening to this after it drops on Wednesday, on Thursday night on Fox, it's the Field of Dreams game at 7:15, 6:15 Central between the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds will be wearing their throwback 1919 uniforms. There's also regional action for Major League Baseball, also on Fox and on Saturday. Then on Sunday on ESPN, it's the Yankees and the Red Sox at 8/7 Central. And there's also NFL preseason action on the NFL Network or your local stations. The Rosebud Lot Cougars, led by head coach Brandon Hicks, are coming off a 6-5 record and a by-district playoff appearance in 2021, with 8 returning starters on offense and 7 returning on defense. The Cougars were picked by Texas Football to finish 4th in District 8 2A Division I. Players to watch for the Cougars are Easton Fulton, who is on the line on both defense and offense, quarterback and defensive back Jamarcus Johnson, wide receiver and defensive back Breon Lewis, offensive lineman and linebacker Daniel Rodriguez, running back and defensive back Moses Fox, and running back and linebacker Yahir Mendoza. The Cameron Yeomen, led by head coach Rick Rhodes, are coming off a 4-7 record, but the 4 wins came in district play, so they ended up making the playoffs, where they lost in by-district. The Yeomen have 18 starters returning on offense and 13 on defense. Players to watch are wide receiver Trajan Wilson, offensive lineman Colby Wilson, running back Zachary Evans, quarterback Braden Drake, wide receiver and defensive back Charles Mayer, defensive lineman Keyshawn Johnson, and defensive back Armando Reyes. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing some of these names. And the Yeomen are picked to finish 4th in District 11 3A Division I by Texas Football. The Rogers Eagles, led by head coach Charlie Roten, are coming off a 7-4 by-district appearance in 2021 and have 4 starters returning on offense and 5 returning on defense. Players to watch for the Eagles are offensive lineman and linebacker Gavin Bennett, running back and defensive back Jackson Landeros, running back and linebacker Bryce Lisenby, lineman Jaime Reyna, running back and defensive back Carson Gomez, lineman Baltimore Orzola, running back and linebacker Abraham Hernandez, and quarterback and defensive back Cooper Cisneros. The Eagles are picked to finish 2nd in District 13 3A Division II by Texas Football. The Little River Academy Bumblebees, led by head coach Chris Lancaster, went 11-2 and went all the way to the regional semifinals in 2021. The Bees have 8 starters returning on offense and 9 on defense, and are picked to finish 3rd in District 11 3A Division II by Texas Football. The Belton Tigers, led by head coach Brett Sniffen, had a 6-5 record and lost in by-district last year. They have 8 starters returning on offense and 1 returning on defense. The Tigers were picked to finish 2nd in District 11 5A Division II by Texas Football. The Belton Broncos, led by head coach Brian Cope, will be playing varsity football for the first time in 2022, and they're actually picked to finish 2nd in District 4 5A Division I. And the Temple Wildcats, led by head coach Scott Stewart, made it all the way to the area round last year with a record of 9-3. The Wildcats have 5 starters returning on offense and also 5 returning on defense, and the Wildcats are picked to finish 1st in District 12 6A by Texas Football. In college football, Alabama is picked number 1 in the preseason top 25, while their quarterback Bryce Young is the top favorite to win the Heisman. Baylor is picked to win the Big 12. Alabama is picked to win the SEC East, while Alabama is picked to win the SEC West, while defending national champion Georgia is picked to win the SEC East. Houston is picked to win the American Athletic Conference. UT San Antonio is picked to win Conference USA. In the Sun Belt, Appalachian State is picked to win the East, while Louisiana is picked to win the West. Stephen F. Austin is picked to win the WAC. Southeastern Louisiana is picked to win the Southland. In the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Jackson State is picked to win the East, while Prairie View is picked to win the West. Angelo State is picked to win the Lone Star. Hardin-Simmons is picked to win the American Southwest, while defending Division III national champion Marion Baylor under new head coach Larry Harmon is picked second. When I was at the Astros game last week before the singing of the national anthem, it was announced that the death of legendary broadcaster Vin Scully. Scully spent most of his career with the Dodgers, while he also worked for CBS and NBC. He was the lead play-by-play announcer on the NBC Game of the Week from 1983 to the 1989 season. He also did the World Series on CBS Radio. He also called football for CBS Television, and in fact, he called the NFC Championship game between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers that was won by the 49ers, which began their dynasty of the 1980s. And also on Monday, legendary singer and actress Olivia Newton-John passed away. Well, that's all I got for this week. See you next time. Hi, I'm Chris, and thank you for listening to my podcast, The Chris Carlisle Show. The Chris Carlisle Show is available on Spreaker. Please leave a like and a review, and also a follow. It's also available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Podchaser, and Podcast Addict. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.